Every car on this list was built to make ordinary people feel like royalty. V12 engines, massaging seats, rear refrigerators stocked for champagne between meetings. When these cars were new, they carried price tags north of $150,000. Some cleared $200,000 before options. They were built for company presidents, for diplomats, for anyone who needed to arrive somewhere and make sure the room noticed. And today, you can walk onto a used car lot and drive one home for less money than a brand new Nissan Sentra. Not a knockoff, not a stripped-down base model. The real thing, the flagship, the one with the V12 badge still on the trunk. That should sound like the deal of the century. It isn't. These 12 former kings of the road didn't just lose their value, they lost it because something inside them is quietly, expensively broken. And the previous owner knew it before you did. Counting down from bad to catastrophic, here are 12 dream cars now priced like a Sentra, and the 12 reasons you should think twice before you sign. Number 12, the Jaguar XJ Supercharged X351 generation. This was the car that dragged Jaguar out of the retirement home. Gone was the old man styling. In its place, an all-aluminum body that looked like nothing else in the segment, wrapped around an interior with a sweeping band of wood veneer and purple ambient lighting that made the cabin feel like a private lounge. Under the hood sat a 5.0-liter supercharged V8, making 510 horsepower, enough to make this thing feel like a nightclub that could also embarrass a Mustang off the line. New, it's stickered around $120,000. Today, clean examples sell for about $15,000. That's over $100,000 gone, and here's why nobody wants to catch it. The timing chain tensioners on this engine depend on steady oil pressure to stay tight. When pressure drops, even briefly, the chain goes slack, the valves meet the pistons, and the engine doesn't limp home. It dies instantly, mid-drive, no warning. Add in coolant pipes made from cheap plastic that crack after a decade, and a coolant leak on this engine usually ends with a warped head gasket. It's the best-looking car on this entire list. It also might be the fastest way to turn $15,000 into a very expensive lawn ornament. Number 11, the Audi S8 D3 generation. This is the sedan from the movie Ronin, the one built to look completely unremarkable while hiding something insane underneath. Pop the hood, and there's a 5.2-liter V10, the same architecture Lamborghini used in the Gallardo, making 450 horsepower and sending it through all-wheel drive to 4 wheels that don't care if the road is wet, icy, or covered in gravel. New, it ran about $110,000. Now it's sitting at roughly $18,000, a $92,000 drop. The problem is carbon. Direct injection engines like this one build up carbon deposits on the intake valves over the years, slowly choking the motor until it stumbles and misfires. And cleaning it properly means pulling the engine apart. Not a weekend job for anyone. Then there's the air suspension. When those struts start leaking, and eventually they all do, you're paying about $2,000 a corner. 4 corners. Do that math yourself. It's a Lamborghini engine wearing an Audi badge for the price of a used hatchback, and keeping it alive needs a budget most people who can afford the car itself simply don't have. Number 10, the BMW 750i F01 generation. This was BMW's first real swing at the twin-turbo V8 era, and when it launched, it felt like driving the future. Side cameras, heads-up display, lane warnings, a car that would cruise at 150 miles an hour on the Autobahn without flinching. But under that hood is the N63 engine, and if you've spent any time around this channel, you already know where this is going. It's widely considered the worst engine BMW has ever put into production, which is saying something given BMW's track record. New, it was a $100,000 car. Today, roughly $10,000. That's a 90% haircut. The reason is oil consumption that borders on absurd. BMW's own technical bulletin admitted a quart burned every 750 miles was considered normal operation. It isn't. That oil consumption fouls spark plugs, kills catalytic converters, and because the turbos sit buried inside the V of the engine, a layout that made competing engineers wince when they saw it, the heat cooks the valve stem seals until the car blows blue smoke at idle like a diesel truck from the 80s. $10,000 is tempting. And $8,000 valve stem seal job is not. Number 9, the Maserati Quattroporte GTS 6th generation. Under that hood sits a 3.8-liter twin-turbo V8, and this one isn't Ferrari-inspired, it's Ferrari-built, no asterisk. 523 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, a top speed near 190 miles an hour, all wrapped in a body that looks like $1 million parked outside. New, it cost $145,000. Today, around $30,000, a $115,000 fall. Here's the twist. The engine is genuinely great. Everything around it is not. The window switches come from a Dodge Dart parts bin. The infotainment screen is lifted from a Chrysler minivan. The leather on the dash peels in direct sunlight, like a cheap phone case. And the depreciation doesn't slow down once you own it. It just keeps going, faster than almost anything else on 4 wheels. It sounds like a Ferrari, it drives like a Ferrari, and it's assembled like a rental car. Whether that's a bargain or a trap depends entirely on how much you love that engine note over everything else falling apart around it. Number 8, the Lexus LS 600 HL. A Lexus on a depreciation list feels wrong, and usually it would be. The standard LS is one of the most bulletproof luxury cars ever built. This wasn't the standard LS. This was Toyota's technological flex, a long wheelbase hybrid built to go toe-to-toe with the V12 Mercedes S-Class, pairing a 5.0-liter V8 with high-voltage electric motors. It cost over $120,000 new, and Toyota was so protective of early units, they reportedly flew them into the US by cargo plane instead of risking a slow boat. Now, roughly $18,000, a $102,000 drop. The trap here is the hybrid battery pack, an aging piece of first-generation technology that, when it fails, doesn't just kill your fuel economy, it lights up the dashboard like a Christmas display and strips away the hybrid assist entirely. A factory replacement runs about $6,000, and because Toyota built so few of these, salvage yard parts are almost impossible to find. You're at the dealer's mercy, full price, no negotiating. It's the most dependable car here, right up until the one part nobody can easily replace decides to quit. Number 7, the Mercedes S600 W220 generation. This car introduced the twin-turbo V12 to the S-Class lineup, an engine built for effortless, torque-drenched burnouts and for making sure everyone in the room knew exactly who had just walked in. It was the go-to car for diplomats and heads of state who wanted subtlety to be optional. But the W220 generation is remembered by Mercedes engineers themselves as the moment quality control fell off a cliff. Too much new technology rushed out before it was properly tested. New $130,000. Today, about $8,000, a 94% collapse. The trap is the active body control suspension, a hydraulic system running at 3,000 pounds per square inch. When a hose bursts and eventually one will, hydraulic fluid sprays onto a red-hot exhaust manifold, and there are documented cases of this ending in actual fire. Then there's the rust. These body panels weren't properly treated at the factory, and 2 decades later, you can find examples that look like they spent years underwater. It's a twin-turbo V12 for less than a used Civic, and it might also be the most disposable V12 ever built. Number 6, the Volkswagen Phaeton. This might be the strangest car on the entire list. Volkswagen's leadership at the time wanted to build the single best car in the world, full stop. Not the best Volkswagen, the best car, period. The mandate was a sedan that could hold 186 miles an hour all day while the cabin stayed locked at exactly 72 degrees. To get there, they borrowed the chassis and the W12 engine straight from the Bentley Continental GT. This is quite literally a Bentley in a Volkswagen suit. Air suspension, 4-zone climate control, motorized wood panels hiding the vents. New $100,000. Today, around $15,000, an $85,000 drop. The trap is complexity nobody wanted to inherit. Solid aluminum trunk hinges that cost $800 apiece. A climate system with moving parts most VW technicians have never seen because they spend their careers on Jettas and Golfs, while Bentley specialists won't touch it because it says Volkswagen on the hood. You end up stuck between 2 service networks, paying specialist labor rates to someone who's essentially learning on your dime. It's the ultimate stealth flex, a Bentley drivetrain that nobody on the street will ever recognize. And when it breaks, finding someone who actually wants to fix it is half the battle. Number 5. The BMW 760Li E66 generation. This was the first production V12 in the world with direct injection, a genuine engineering milestone packed with early iDrive, active sway bars, and a refrigerator built into the back seat. BMW built this car to prove they could out-engineer the entire industry. They proved something, just not that. New $125,000. Today, roughly $7,000, a 95% wipeout. The trap is the electronics. This car runs over 70 separate control modules, all talking to each other through a fiber optic network. Lose one. Whether it's the seat module, the sunroof module, or something as small as a door handle sensor, and the whole network can go down with it. Not the seat stops working. The car doesn't start. Diagnosing it needs equipment that costs more than the car itself, and specialists who actually understand this network are getting harder to find every year. $7,000 for a V12 flagship sounds like a joke in your favor. It's really a rolling computer crash waiting for the right moment to happen. Number 4, the Porsche Panamera Turbo S, first generation. When this launched in 2011, critics tore it apart. Journalists called it awkward, bloated, a 911 that had one too many pastries. But underneath that controversial shape sat a 4.8-liter twin-turbo V8, making 550 horsepower, hitting 60 in 3.6 seconds, capable of humiliating actual Ferraris at a stoplight while carrying 4 adults in total comfort. New, $175,000. Today, about $25,000, a $150,000 fall. The steepest dollar drop on this entire list. The trap is the coolant pipes, and this one is almost unbelievable. Porsche glued them together, not welded, not bolted, glued. Eventually that adhesive gives out, the pipes separate, and every drop of coolant empties onto the highway in seconds. Fixing it means pulling the entire engine, a $5,000 to $8,000 job before you even get to the failing air suspension compressor or the PDK transmission sensor faults that can demand a full replacement. It's ugly, it's brutally fast, and for $25,000, it drives like a dream right up until it quietly bleeds out on the interstate. Number 3, the Bentley Arnage T. Before Volkswagen bought Bentley and polished it into the precise machine it is today, this was the old guard, unapologetic and mechanically ancient. The 6.75-liter V8 under the hood traces its architecture back to the 1950s, strapped with 2 enormous turbochargers to produce 738 pound-feet of torque, a number that feels less like a car and more like a freight train getting up to speed. Hand-stitched leather, hand-polished wood, the smell of old money baked into the cabin. New, $240,000. Today, around $35,000, a $200,000 collapse, the biggest total loss on this list. The trap is the head gaskets, worn out by decades-old engineering never designed to handle this much boost pressure. Fixing them means pulling the engine, an easy $10,000 job. Brake servos fail. Suspension bushings give out under nearly 6,000 pounds of British steel. Even the air conditioning uses parts that simply aren't manufactured anymore, forcing owners into a tiny network of specialists and long waits. For $35,000, you look like royalty rolling up to valet. You'd better have a royal bank account waiting behind it. Number 2, the Aston Martin Rapide. Most people don't even know this car exists, and that's part of what makes it dangerous. Built on the same platform as the DB9, the Rapide is a 4-door Grand Tourer powered by a naturally aspirated 6.0-liter V12 making 470 horsepower, hand-assembled in Gaydon, England by craftsmen treating every unit like a piece of art. It might be the most beautiful 4-door car ever built, with an exhaust note closer to an opera than an engine. New, over $200,000. Today, about $40,000, a $160,000 fall. The trap sits in the catalytic converters, which fail whenever the engine misfires, and misfires on this V12 aren't rare. A failing PCV breather system lets oil into the intake, triggers the misfire, and the catalysts go with it. Replacing all 4 isn't a $500 fix. It's $8,000 to $15,000 depending on parts. And that's before you deal with leaking cam cover gaskets and an engine that drinks oil on top of everything else. Aston Martin built these in tiny numbers from a company that spent most of its history teetering on bankruptcy, which means every part came from whichever supplier could still call themselves artisanal. For $40,000 you get James Bond's car right up until the morning it refuses to start. Number 1, The Mercedes-Maybach S600 W222 generation. Every car on this list is a trap. This one is a trap wrapped in a bow. When it launched, this wasn't competing with a 7 Series or an A8. It was aimed directly at the Rolls-Royce Ghost. A 6.0-liter twin-turbo V12 making 523 horsepower, rear seats that recline nearly flat with extendable footrests, a built-in refrigerator between them, a 24-speaker Burmester sound system, a partition window separating the front from the back. This was built for people who didn't drive themselves. New $190,000. Today, about $45,000, a $145,000 drop. The trap is everything, all at once. The Magic Body Control suspension reads the road ahead with a camera and adjusts each wheel before it hits a bump. Brilliant when it works, and $3,000 to $5,000 per corner when it doesn't. The V12's turbo oil lines are known to crack and leak onto scorching engine components. The air suspension bags fail. The electronics are so dense that even Mercedes technicians sometimes can't pin down the fault on the first try. And every part is priced like the Rolls-Royce competitor this car was built to be, no matter what the resale value says now. Here's the real sting. Buy a used Rolls-Royce Ghost and people still know exactly what they're looking at. Buy a used Maybach and people just see a Mercedes. All that prestige you paid $190,000 for quietly evaporated, and what's left is a $45,000 car demanding $190,000 money to keep alive, with nobody at the valet stand even noticing. 12 cars, over $1 million combined dollars gone, and every single one of them still runs, still turns heads, still costs less right now than the Nissan sitting on the lot next to it. That's not an accident, and it's not a bargain either. It's what happens when engineering built to impress in 2008 becomes the exact same engineering nobody wants to insure in 2026. Somewhere out there tonight, one of these 12 is sitting under a dealership light with a price tag that looks like a mistake. It isn't a mistake, it's a countdown, ticking toward whichever part fails first.